Fleet Admiral Dong Ho had seen many impressive sights in his 30 years of military service, but nothing compared to what he saw now. Stretched out behind his flagship were 800 human warships. Each one was built using the best of human and alien technology. Each one was crewed by humans who had trained for this moment their entire lives. It was the largest military force humanity had ever assembled, and it was about to jump into unknown space to fight an alien empire. "Admiral," said his communications officer, "all ships report ready for hyperspace jump. Navigation? Course laid in for the Corvan frontier, sir. We'll arrive at the edge of their territory in 47 minutes. Admiral Dong Ho looked at the tactical display showing all his ships. Destroyers, cruisers, battleships, and carriers. Fast attack ships and heavy assault vessels. Support ships carrying supplies and repair equipment. Each ship was painted with the symbol of Earth, a blue circle with green and brown patches, representing the planet that had created these warriors. "Signal all ships," Admiral Dong Ho said. "Begin hyperspace jump." Space around the human fleet began to twist and bend. Stars stretched into lines of light. Then suddenly they were somewhere else. The first thing they saw were the burning planets. 3 worlds in this system were under attack. Corvan ships, dark and angular like metal insects, surrounded each planet. Energy weapons fired down at the surface, destroying cities and forests. Smaller Corvan ships moved between the planets, carrying stolen resources and captured prisoners. "Count enemy ships," Admiral Dong Ho ordered. "Sir, I count 237 Corvan vessels. Mix of cruisers, destroyers, and troop transports." The Corvans had noticed the human arrival. Their ships were turning to face this new threat, but they moved slowly, like they had all the time in the world. "They don't seem worried about us," observed Commander Gina, who led the fast attack squadron. "They should be," Admiral Dong Ho said grimly. "Signal all ships, attack formation Alpha. Let's show them what Deathworlders can do." The human fleet spread out in a pattern the Corvans had never seen before. Instead of forming a single line like galactic navies usually did, the humans split into multiple groups that moved to surround the enemy. Commander Gina's squadron moved first. 50 fast ships accelerated to speeds that amazed the Corvans. Human ships were built to handle the extreme acceleration forces that would crush most alien species. "Target their command ship," Gina ordered her pilots. "All fighters, remember your training. Hit and run, don't give them time to aim." The human fighters dove toward the Corvan fleet like hawks attacking mice. Wu Jin was one of those fighter pilots. He had grown up in the mountains of Korea, where his reflexes had been sharpened by years of extreme sports and dangerous weather. Now those same reflexes served him in space combat. "Enemy ships are firing," his wingman called over the radio. Wu Jin watched the Corvan energy beams coming toward him. They moved in straight lines, easy to avoid if you were fast enough. He twisted his fighter to the side, and the alien weapon missed by several meters. "Too slow," he said to himself, and fired his own weapons. Human weapons were different from alien ones. Instead of energy beams, they fired solid projectiles, metal bullets that moved faster than most alien targeting systems could track. Wu Jin's shots hit the Corvan ship's bridge, punching through armor that was designed to stop energy weapons but not physical projectiles. All around him, other human fighters were doing the same thing. The Corvans tried to fight back, but their weapons couldn't hit the fast-moving human ships. "This is easier than training exercises," Wu Jin told his wingman. "They can't even track us properly." Meanwhile, the larger human ships were engaging the main Corvan fleet. Captain Minjae commanded the battleship Soul's Pride. His ship was built like a fortress that could move between stars. Heavy armor, powerful shields, and weapons that could destroy a city. "Target the enemy cruiser at bearing 270, he ordered his weapons officer. "Locked on." "Sir." "Fire." The human battleship's main guns fired not energy beams, but physical projectiles traveling at a significant fraction of light speed. The Corvan cruiser's shields, designed to stop energy weapons, offered no protection against solid matter moving that fast. The alien ship broke apart instantly. "Next target," Captain Minjae said calmly. Across the battlefield, the same scene was repeated over and over. Human ships using tactics and weapons the Corvans had never faced before. Alien ships powerful against other aliens, proving helpless against Deathworlder technology and strategy. Admiral Dong Ho watched the battle from his command ship. It was going better than even his most optimistic projections. "Admiral," his tactical officer reported, We've destroyed 60% of their fleet. Our losses are minimal. 3 fighters damaged, no ships destroyed. What are the Corvins doing? Sir, they're retreating. Their remaining ships are jumping to hyperspace. Admiral Dongho nodded. Let them go. We want some of them to escape. Sir, we want them to report back to their empire about what happened here. We want the Corvins to know that the Deathworlders are coming. On the planet below, Valari refugees watched the battle from their hiding places. They had seen many attacks by the Corvin Empire, and they all followed the same pattern. The Corvins would arrive, destroy all resistance within hours, and begin looting the planet. This time was different. Elder Kira, who was one of the survivors, could hardly believe what she was seeing. The new ships, the Deathworlder ships, fought like nothing in galactic history. They moved faster, hit harder, and used tactics that seemed to come from a completely different understanding of warfare. Are they really winning? Asked a young Valari next to her. Yes, Elder Kira whispered. The legends were true. The Deathworlders came to save us. Above them, the last Corvin ships disappeared into hyperspace. The burning had stopped. The attack was over. Human ships began landing on the planet's surface. Colonel Minji led the first ground forces to make contact with the survivors. She and her Marines moved carefully through the damaged cities, looking for alien civilians who needed help. When they found the first group of Valari, the aliens' reaction surprised her. They fell to their knees. Great ones, Elder Kira said in the trade language most galactic species understood. You came. You really came? We're just here to help, Colonel Minji said gently. You're safe now. You are the Deathworlders from the ancient legends. You have saved us from the Corvins. Colonel Minji looked around at the destruction the Corvins had caused. Burned buildings, destroyed farms, families separated and afraid. We're going to do more than save you, she said. We're going to make sure this never happens again. Back in space, Admiral Dongho was receiving reports from across the battle zone. All planets secured, sir. Corvin forces eliminated or retreated. We're beginning rescue and relief operations. Casualties? 17 humans wounded, none killed. Corvin casualties. The officer paused. Sir, we estimate we destroyed or captured over 200 enemy ships. And how many human ships did we lose? None, sir. Not a single ship destroyed. Admiral Dongho felt a grim satisfaction. The first battle between humans and the Corvin Empire was over, and it had been a complete victory for Earth. But this was just the beginning. Signal the fleet, he ordered. Prepare for the next jump. We're going to follow those retreating Corvins and see where they came from. Sir, shouldn't we wait for reinforcements? Admiral Dongho looked at the tactical display showing his 800 ships. Behind them, Earth was building more ships every day. Soon there would be thousands of human warships spreading across the galaxy. Commander, he said, we are the reinforcements. Across the galaxy, the message spread faster than any ship could travel. The peaceful species had an ancient communication network that carried news from world to world almost instantly. The Deathworlders were real. They had ships that could defeat Corvan fleets. They were coming to help. On 1,000 worlds, people who had lived in fear of Corvan attacks began to hope again. Children who had hidden in bunkers started coming outside. Families that had been separated began trying to find each other. The galaxy was about to change. And in the deepest regions of Corvan space, military commanders were receiving reports they could not believe. An entire fleet destroyed by unknown aliens. Ships that fought like nothing they had ever seen. War Admiral Kronak read the reports 3 times before he accepted they were real. How many of these Deathworlders are there? He asked his intelligence officer. Unknown, sir. But based on the size of their fleet, we estimate they have significant industrial capacity. Could they threaten our homeworld? The intelligence officer was quiet for a long time. Sir, he finally said, if their entire species fights like the ships we encountered today, they could threaten the entire Corvan Empire. War Admiral Kronak stared at the star maps showing Corvan territory. His empire had been expanding for centuries, conquering world after world, growing stronger with each victory. Now, for the first time, they faced an enemy that might be stronger than they were. The age of easy Corvan conquests was over. The Deathworlders were coming. President Inho stood in front of the largest gathering of world leaders in human history. The emergency session of the United Nations had been called just 6 hours ago, and representatives from every nation on Earth were present. either in person or by video link. Ladies and gentlemen, President Inho began, what I'm about to tell you will change everything we thought we knew about our place in the universe. The Great Hall was completely silent. Outside, news crews from around the world waited for information about the mysterious emergency session. 3 weeks ago, we received a message from space. Not from one of our own space missions, but from an alien civilization asking for our help. The silence broke as delegates began talking all at once. President Inho raised his hand for quiet. I know this is hard to believe, but I have proof. The giant screens around the hall showed recordings from Captain Sung's ship. The delegates watched in amazement as they saw real aliens for the first time. They saw the beautiful but damaged alien ship, and they heard gentle wind through leaves explaining about the Corvin attacks. When the recording ended, the hall was silent again. The aliens are asking for our help because they believe humans are something called Deathworlders, President Inho continued. They think we are warriors from a dangerous planet who can save them from an enemy they cannot fight. The president of Brazil stood up. Are we going to help them? That's what we're here to decide, President Inho said. But first you need to understand what we're really talking about. General Taman, the head of Earth's combined military forces, stepped forward. He was a big man with scars on his hands from his years as a soldier. The Corvin Empire has thousands of warships, he said. They have been conquering peaceful planets for hundreds of years. They are not just raiders or pirates. They are a military force that controls a large part of the galaxy. How many ships do we have? Asked the Prime Minister of India. Right now? About 300 real warships, General Taman said. But we have something the galaxy has never seen before. He nodded to Yunbi, who was Earth's top military strategist. She was young, but her mind worked faster than most computers when it came to planning battles. The aliens fight wars very differently than humans, Yunbi explained. They have battles in space where ships line up and shoot at each other until one side gives up. They don't use tactics like surprise attacks, flanking maneuvers, or coordinated strikes. Why not? Asked the Chancellor of Germany. Because they evolved on peaceful worlds, Yunbi said. They never needed to learn real warfare. The Corvins win because they're more aggressive than other aliens, not because they're better fighters than humans. What are you saying? I'm saying that one human warship with human tactics and human soldiers could probably defeat 5 or 10 alien ships. The delegates looked at each other with expressions of disbelief and growing excitement. Meanwhile, in a research facility in South Korea, Dr. Hyun was studying pieces of Corvin technology that Captain Sung had recovered from battle sites. Dr. Hyun had been Earth's leading expert on theoretical alien life, which meant she had spent years guessing what aliens might be like. Now she had real alien technology to examine, and what she found surprised her. It's incredible, she said to her research team. Their technology is very advanced in some ways, but very weak in others. What do you mean? Asked Dr. Park, her assistant. Look at this, Dr. Hyun pointed to a piece of Corvin armor. The material is amazing. It can stop energy weapons that would destroy our strongest metals. But watch this. She picked up a regular hammer and hit the armor. It cracked and broke into pieces. It's designed to stop energy weapons, but it can't handle physical impact. They never thought someone might hit it with something solid. What about their weapons? Dr. Hyun showed them a Corvin energy rifle. Very powerful, very accurate. But it takes 5 seconds to charge between shots, and it needs to cool down after firing 10 times. Our weapons? Our bullets travel faster than their targeting systems can track. Our rifles can fire hundreds of rounds without stopping. Dr. Park stared at the alien technology. Are you saying their weapons are worse than ours? Not worse, different. They're designed to fight other aliens who use similar technology. They're not designed to fight humans. At a military base in Japan, pilot Junho was learning to fly a new kind of aircraft. It was built using both human and alien technology. The ship could travel faster than light like alien ships could, but it was controlled using human-style controls and human tactical thinking. This is amazing, Junho said to his instructor, Colonel Park. It handles like our best fighter jets, but it can travel between stars. How does it compare to the alien ships you've seen in the recordings? Junho thought about that. He had watched hours of footage showing how alien ships moved in space. Their ships are bigger and have stronger shields, he said. But they're slow. They move in straight lines. They don't use evasive maneuvers. Could you outfight one? Sir, I could outfight 10 of them. They fly like transport ships, not fighters. Colonel Sora was having similar thoughts as she trained her Marines for possible ground combat. The Marines were practicing with alien weapons and learning about alien physiology. What they discovered made them feel very confident. The average Corvan soldier is about as strong as a human child, Colonel Sora explained to her troops. They rely on their armor and weapons to make them dangerous. If we can get close to them, they can't fight us hand to hand. What about their tactics, ma'am? Asked Sergeant Kim. According to the aliens we rescued, Corvans attack in large groups moving straight forward. They don't use cover, flanking movements, or coordinated small unit tactics. So they fight like people who have never had to fight for their lives, Colonel Sora finished, which is exactly what they are. Back at the United Nations, the debate was coming to an end. We have heard all the evidence, President Inho said. The aliens need our help. We have the ability to help them. The question is, should we? The President of France stood up. What if we lose? What if the Corvans are stronger than we think? General Taman answered. Then Earth will be in the same danger these other worlds are in now. The Corvans won't stop with the planets they're attacking. Eventually, they'll come for us too. And if we win, Yunbi said, we become the protectors of peaceful civilizations across the galaxy. Earth becomes the center of an alliance that spans the stars. The vote was not even close. Every nation on Earth agreed. They would help the aliens. President Inho signed the authorization that night. Within hours, every shipyard on Earth was working at full speed. Every military base was preparing for the largest operation in human history. Dr. Hyun and her team worked around the clock to upgrade human weapons and armor using alien technology. Pilot Junho and thousands of other pilots learned to fly the new hybrid ships. Colonel Sora and her Marines prepared for battles on alien worlds. Most importantly, Earth's factories began building new warships as fast as they could. Ships designed specifically to fight the Corvan Empire. The aliens had asked the Deathworlders for help. The Deathworlders were preparing to answer. In space stations around Earth, Admiral Jiwoo coordinated the largest military buildup in human history. Ships that had been used for exploration were converted into warships. Civilian pilots volunteered to become military pilots. Scientists became weapons engineers. How long until we're ready? President Inho asked during their daily planning meeting. 6 weeks, Admiral Jiwoo said. 6 weeks to build the largest space fleet Earth has ever created. Will it be enough? Admiral Jiwoo looked at the reports from her officers. Humans learning alien technology faster than anyone thought possible. Human tactics being adapted for space warfare. Human determination to help people who couldn't help themselves, sir, she said. I think the Corvans are about to learn why you don't attack the neighbors of Deathworlders. The countdown to humanity's first interstellar war had begun. And across the galaxy, the Corvan Empire had no idea what was coming for them. On a planet far from Earth, in a place humans had never seen, Elder Nara was telling a story that might save her people. The planet was called Talar Prime, and it was nothing like Earth. The sky was always a soft purple color, and 2 small suns gave gentle light that never hurt anyone's eyes. The trees grew in perfect circles, and the animals were all peaceful plant eaters. Rain fell exactly when the plants needed it, and storms never came. It was a beautiful world, but now it was dying. Nara stood in the great meeting hall, speaking to thousands of her people. The Valari looked like tall, thin humans, but their skin was light blue and their eyes were large and black. They had lived in peace for so long that they had almost forgotten what war meant. My children, Nara said in her old, gentle voice, I must tell you about the ancient stories. The legends our grandparents told us, which we thought were just stories to entertain children. The crowd was very quiet. Outside the hall, they could hear the sounds of explosions in the distance. The Corvan Empire was getting closer. Long ago, Nara continued, before any of us were born, there were worlds in the galaxy that were different from ours. Dangerous worlds. Worlds where the ground shook without warning, where the air burned, where giant predators hunted smaller creatures every day. Some of the younger Valari looked confused. They had never heard of such things. The stories say that on these worlds life became strong. Not strong like us, who are strong in our minds and hearts. Strong in their bodies. Strong in ways we cannot imagine. An explosion louder than the others shook the building. Dust fell from the ceiling. The legends speak of one world that was the most dangerous of all, a world of endless wars between its own people, a world where the weather could kill, where the very ground could open up and swallow cities. where creatures with teeth like knives hunted other creatures, and only the smartest and strongest survived. Nara paused and looked around the hall. Her people were listening with fear and hope mixed together in their large eyes. The people who lived on this world became something the galaxy had never seen before. The stories call them Deathworlders, being so tough, so strong, so clever, that they could survive anything. Meanwhile, very far from Talar Prime, Commander Kyung was experiencing something amazing. Kyung was floating in his spaceship near Earth's new hyperspace gate. Earth's scientists had built it using technology learned from the alien message. It was the first time humans had ever traveled faster than light. "This is incredible," said Dr. Yoon, the mission scientist. She was looking at readings from space that showed them things they had never imagined. Through the ship's windows, they could see other worlds. Planets that orbited different stars, some close enough to visit. For the first time in human history, Earth was connected to the rest of the galaxy. "Look at this," said Lieutenant Tyke, pointing at his computer screen. "I'm getting readings from the nearest planet. The gravity there is less than half of Earth's." "That's impossible," Dr. Yoon said. "Humans need normal gravity to be healthy." "No," Kyung said, understanding something important. "It's not impossible. It means the people who live there are used to much weaker gravity than us." They spent the next few hours studying readings from different planets. What they found amazed them. Most of the worlds they could detect had very light gravity. Their atmospheres were perfect for life, with no storms, no extreme weather, and no dangerous gases. The temperatures never got too hot or too cold. "These planets are like gardens," Dr. Yoon said. "Perfect for life." "Too perfect," Kyung said. He was beginning to understand something that made him feel strange. "Look at Earth compared to these places. Earth had heavy gravity that made everything weigh more. It had storms that could destroy cities, earthquakes that could split the ground open, and volcanoes that could change the weather for years. It had deserts where nothing could live and oceans deep enough to crush anything that went too far down. Earth had predators. Lions, sharks, bears, snakes, animals that killed other animals to survive. Most planets seem to have only gentle plant-eating creatures. We're the exception, Kyung said quietly. Earth isn't normal. Earth is a nightmare compared to these other worlds. Back on Talar Prime, Elder Nara was finishing her story. The legends say that these Deathworlders disappeared long ago. Some stories say they destroyed themselves in their endless wars. Others say they simply went quiet, tired of fighting. Another explosion, even closer now. The lights in the hall flickered. But the oldest stories, the ones passed down by the most ancient families, say something different. They say the Deathworlders are still out there, somewhere in the dark between stars. Waiting. Waiting for what? Called out a young Valari from the crowd. Waiting for someone to need them, Nara said. The legends say that if any peaceful people are in great danger, if they call out across the stars for help, the Deathworlders will hear them. The crowd began to whisper among themselves. Some sounded hopeful. Others sounded like they thought it was just a story. Elder Nara, said another voice. Even if this legend is true, how could we call them? We don't know where they are, Nara smiled sadly. The ancient stories tell us that too. The Deathworlders live near a small yellow star, on a world that is mostly water, with only small pieces of land. A world with one large moon that controls the movement of its oceans. She paused. 3 days ago, our scientists sent a message toward that star, a message asking for help. The hall became completely silent. Commander. Kyung was studying star maps when his communication device made a sound. Commander, came the voice of Admiral Ji-woo from Earth. We've confirmed the location of the aliens who sent us the message. We've also discovered something interesting about the area of space they're in. What did you find? It's full of inhabited planets. Dozens of them. All with the same type of environment, low gravity, stable weather, peaceful ecosystems. But there's something else. What? We're detecting signs of warfare. Ships moving in attack formations. Energy weapons being fired. It looks like someone is attacking all those peaceful worlds. Kyung felt his heart beat faster. Admiral, I think I understand now why they sent us that message. Explain. All these other worlds are like gardens. Perfect for life, but their people would be weak compared to us. If someone is attacking them, they can't fight back effectively. Earth's gravity alone makes us much stronger than they could ever be. Are you saying they think we're warriors? I'm saying we are warriors, Admiral. Compared to them, every human is like a super soldier. There was a long silence on the communication channel. Admiral, Kyung said, I think we might be the Deathworlders they're talking about. I think Earth is the dangerous world from their legends, and they're asking us to save them. Kyung looked out at the stars, thinking about peaceful aliens being attacked by enemies they couldn't fight. Then he thought about Earth, where humans had learned to survive earthquakes, hurricanes, predators, and wars. Maybe it was time for the Deathworlders to answer the call. Captain Shung had seen many strange things in his 20 years of space travel, but nothing had prepared him for this moment. His ship, the Earth vessel, New Soul, floated in the darkness between stars. In front of him was something that looked like a giant metal flower made of silver and blue crystal. It was beautiful, but it was also badly damaged. Pieces of it drifted away into space. "Captain," said his communications officer, "I'm getting signals from that ship. They're trying to talk to us. Can you understand them?" "I think so. The computer is using the translation patterns we learned from their original message." A voice came through the speakers. It sounded scared and tired. "Please, help us. Our ship is dying. We have children on board." Seung didn't hesitate. "Tell them we're coming to help." "Lieutenant Yuna, get ready for a rescue mission." Lieutenant Yuna was already putting on her spacesuit. She was small even for a human, but she was the best rescue specialist in the Earth fleet. "Captain," she said, "their ship's atmosphere readings are strange. The air pressure is very low and the gravity is almost nothing. Can you work in those conditions?" Yuna smiled. "Sir, I trained in Earth's oceans and on mountaintops. This will be easy." The alien ship was much larger than it looked from far away. When Yuna got close to it, she could see that it was made of materials Earth had never invented. The walls were smooth and seemed to glow with their own light. She found an airlock and managed to open it using hand signals to the aliens inside. When the door opened, she got her first look at real alien people. They were tall and thin, with light blue skin and very large black eyes. When they saw her, they made sounds that the translator turned into words of fear. "Monster! Deathworlder! Don't hurt us!" Yuna stopped moving. She held up her hands to show she was friendly. "I'm here to help," she said gently. "We got your message." The aliens stared at her in amazement. One of them, who seemed to be their leader, stepped forward carefully. You are really from the Death World?" "If you mean Earth, then yes." The alien made a sound like crying, but happy crying. "The legends are true. The Deathworlders came to help us." Yuna looked around the ship. The aliens were hurt and their ship was falling apart. But what surprised her most was how weak they seemed. In the low gravity, she could move easily, but they moved slowly and carefully. When she accidentally bumped into a wall, she left a dent in the metal. The aliens looked at her in wonder. "How are you so strong?" one of them asked. Yuna didn't know how to answer. She didn't feel strong. This was just normal for her. "We need to get you out of here," she said. "Your ship is going to break apart soon." "But we cannot survive in your ship's environment," the alien leader said. "Your gravity will crush us. Your atmosphere will poison us." This was a problem Yuna hadn't thought about. But engineer Bora had. Bora was working fast inside the human ship, building something she had never built before. She was using parts from both human and alien technology, putting them together in ways that shouldn't work but somehow did. "Captain," she called to Seung, "I think I can modify our cargo bay to match their environmental needs. How long will it take?" "Give me 30 minutes. Bora had always been good at fixing things, but this was different. She was learning alien technology just by looking at it. The patterns made sense to her in a way that surprised everyone, including herself. She took apart pieces of the alien ship that had broken off and drifted into space. Their computers used light instead of electricity. Their life support systems worked by growing plants that cleaned the air. Their artificial gravity came from spinning sections of the ship. "This is amazing," she said to herself as she worked. "They've solved problems in completely different ways than we have." But she could also see why their ship was failing. It was built for a perfect environment where nothing ever went wrong. When it got damaged, it didn't know how to keep working. Human ships were built to keep going even when half their systems were broken. 37 minutes later, Bora had finished her work. "Captain, the cargo bay is ready. I've created a safe area where the aliens can live. Lower gravity, different air, the right temperature." Yuna helped the aliens move from their broken ship to the human one. There were 12 of them, adults and children. They moved very carefully in the human ship's stronger gravity. Even in the modified cargo bay, the alien leader, who said his name was something that translated as gentle wind through leaves, spoke with Captain Sung. "We are from the planet Talar Prime." he said. "We are called the Valari. For 3 months, the Corvan Empire has been attacking our worlds. Why are they attacking you? Because they can. Because we cannot stop them." Gentle Wind Through Leaves looked very sad. "We are a peaceful people. We have never fought wars. We don't know how." Sung thought about Earth's history. Humans had been fighting wars for thousands of years. They had learned to make weapons, to plan battles, to protect their people from enemies. What do the Corvans want? Everything. Our worlds, our resources, our people as slaves. They have been expanding across the galaxy for centuries, taking whatever they want from anyone who cannot stop them. And no one fights back? Gentle Wind Through Leaves made a sound like laughing, but not happy laughing. "Captain, you must understand. Most people in the galaxy are like us. We evolved on peaceful worlds. We are not built for fighting. The Corvans are unusual because they are aggressive, but even they are not truly strong. They win because they attack people who cannot fight back." "Until now," Seung said quietly. "Yes," the alien said, "until now. The old legends spoke of Deathworlders who would come to help the peaceful peoples of the galaxy. We never believed it until our scientists detected your world." Bora joined the conversation. "What did you detect about Earth?" "Everything," Gentle Wind Through Leaves said. "Your world is a nightmare. Heavy gravity that would crush most galactic species. Weather that changes without warning. Tectonic activity that destroys whole regions. Predator species that hunt other creatures for food." He paused. "And yet people live there. Not just live, but thrive. Create art, science, literature. Build cities that survive earthquakes. Travel to other worlds. The only way this is possible is if your people are incredibly strong and adaptable." Yuna looked at Bora and Captain Sung. She had never thought of humans as particularly strong. On Earth, they were just normal. "Gentle Wind Through Leaves," Captain Sung said. "Where are the Corvans now?" "They are attacking the outer colonies. Hundreds of ships moving from world to world. Each planet they attack falls within days because no one can fight them effectively." "How many Corvans are there?" "Thousands of ships. Millions of soldiers. They have been preparing for this expansion for decades." Sung was quiet for a moment, thinking. "And how many Deathworlders do you think there are?" "We don't know. The legends never said. Perhaps a few hundred? A few thousand?" Sung smiled, and it was not a gentle smile. "Gentle Wind Through Leaves," he said. "There are 8 billion humans on Earth alone, and every single one of them grew up on a death world." The alien's large black eyes got even larger. 8 billion! And we've been building spaceships and weapons for decades, just in case we ever needed to fight a war in space. For the first time since the attacks began, Gentle Wind Through Leaves felt something he had almost forgotten: hope. The Deathworlders were real. They were here, and there were billions of them. The coffee in Hana's cup had gone cold hours ago, but she didn't notice. Her eyes stayed fixed on the screen, showing strange patterns of light and sound. The Kepler research station orbited Earth in quiet darkness, but inside the communication room something amazing was happening. "This is not normal," Hana whispered to herself. She had been working as a communications officer for 5 years. She knew what normal space signals looked like. This was different, very different. The signal came from far away, somewhere near the star called Vega. It used quantum encryption, which was technology humans had only just learned about. But whoever sent this message knew much more about it than Earth's best scientists. Hana pressed the emergency button. Red lights flashed in the hallway outside. Within minutes, other people rushed into the room. "What is it?" asked Minho, the station's language expert. He was still wearing his sleep clothes because Hana had woken him up. "Look at this." Hana pointed at her screen. "I've been getting this signal for 3 hours now. It's definitely not from Earth, and it's not from any of our space probes." Minho rubbed his eyes and looked closer. The signal showed patterns that repeated over and over. Some parts looked like numbers, others looked like pictures made of dots and lines. "Can you clean it up?" Minho asked. Hana typed quickly on her computer. The static noise slowly disappeared and the signal became clearer. Now they could see it better. It definitely looked like a message from someone trying to communicate. "We need to call Admiral Jiwoo," Minho said. "This is too big for just us." Admiral Jiwoo arrived on the station 6 hours later. She was a tall woman with short gray hair and serious eyes. She had been in the Earth Defense Force for 20 years and had never seen anything like this. "Show me everything," she said. Hana and Minho explained what they had found. Admiral Jiwoo listened without saying a word. When they finished, she was quiet for a long time. "You think this is real?" she finally asked. "Yes," said Hana. "The signal is too complex to be random noise. Someone is definitely trying to tell us something." "But who?" Admiral Jiwoo asked. "And why are they sending it to Earth?" That was the big question. Humans had been listening for alien messages for over 100 years. They had sent their own messages into space hoping someone would answer. But no one ever had. Until now. Dr. Daeho arrived the next morning. He was the station's expert on life from other planets, even though he had never actually seen any aliens. He was a small man with thick glasses who got excited about everything. "This is incredible," he said as soon as he saw the signal. "The quantum patterns are so advanced. Whoever sent this knows things about physics that we're only beginning to understand." "Can you tell where it came from exactly?" Admiral Jiwoo asked. Daeho studied the signal for hours. He ran tests on the quantum signatures and compared them to star maps. Finally, he found what he was looking for. "It's definitely from the Vega system," he said, "about 27 light-years away. But here's the interesting part. The signal shows isotopes that don't exist naturally in that area of space. This message was sent by someone who has technology to change matter at the atomic level." "What does the message say?" Admiral Jiwoo asked Minho. Minho had been working on translating the signal for 2 days straight. His desk was covered with papers full of notes and drawings. "It's hard to understand," he said. "The language is completely different from anything on Earth, but I think I've figured out some of it." He pointed to different parts of the signal on his screen. "These patterns seem to be numbers. These ones might be star maps. And this part here, this comes up over and over again. What does it mean?" "I think it means help. Or maybe please. The message is asking for something." Admiral Jiwoo felt a chill run down her back. "Are you saying this is a distress call?" "I think so," Minho said. "But there's more. Look at this part." He showed them a section of the message that was different from the rest. It had strange symbols that looked almost like pictures. "I think this word means enemy or danger. And this one, I'm not sure, but it might mean war or attack. But this symbol here is the most interesting." "What is it?" "I think it means Deathworlders." "Deathworlders?" Admiral Jiwoo asked. "What's that supposed to mean?" "I don't know," Minho admitted. "But it appears in the message many times. Always with symbols that seem to mean strong or powerful or help. I think whoever sent this message is asking the Deathworlders for help." Dr. Daeho suddenly got very excited. "Wait, let me check something," he said. He ran to his computer and started typing fast. "What are you looking for?" Admiral Jiwoo asked. "The location where this signal came from," Daeho said. "I want to compare it to some old space maps." After a few minutes, Daeho stopped typing. His face had gone pale. "What did you find?" "According to these old star charts from the 1970s, the area around Vega was marked as a quarantine zone. Scientists back then thought there might be dangerous radiation there. So? But look at this," Daeho pointed to his screen. "The coordinates mentioned in this alien message match exactly with Earth's location. Someone out there knows where we are, and they think we live on something called a death world." The room became very quiet. Everyone stared at the screen showing the alien message. "Are you telling me," Admiral Jiwoo said slowly, "that aliens think Earth is some kind of dangerous planet?" "That's what it looks like," Daeho said. "And they're asking the people from this death world for help." Hana looked at the signal again. Now that she understood what it meant, it seemed different. Not just a random message from space, but a cry for help from someone far away, who thought humans were their only hope. "What do we do now?" she asked. Admiral Jiwoo was quiet for a long time. Outside the windows, Earth spun slowly below them. It looked peaceful and blue, covered with white clouds. It was hard to believe that anyone would think of it as a dangerous place. "First, we make sure this is real," Admiral Jiwoo said. "Then we decide what to do about it." But deep down, she already knew this was going to change everything. Humans were no longer alone in the universe, and somehow other people out there thought Earth was a planet of warriors. The question was, were they right?